call the Groveland Township regular board meeting for January 2024 order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Laura, would you please take roll call?
Robert Palmer.
I'm here.
Janelle Keller.
Here.
Teresa Bills.
Here.
Jim Christopher.
Here.
Gina Mazzarella. Here.
Okay. First item on the agenda is approval of the January 8th agenda for today. Are there any questions or comments, changes on it?
No. Did you have this as adding to the agenda? Or we
I'm just gonna bring it up in budget support. Yeah.
I got it.
Sorry, I did leave you that sticky, but I changed my mind.
Okay. And then the,
We had a couple that came in like at 3 o'clock.
I'm just gonna bring them all up in my report.
okay.
Okay, there are no.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda for January 8th.
Support?
Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's approved. And then we have to approve the minutes from the December 11th board meeting. You should have a copy. I looked at those, they looked okay to me. I don't know if anybody saw anything they want on it.
I just had one little thing.
What's that?
Under the treasurers on page 6, where it says the Visa class action settlement will enter a claim. Actually, I would like that changed to I will discuss with other treasurers. So I hadn't decided whether I was gonna enter a claim or not. It was to discuss with other treasurers before making that decision. Okay?
That is.
That's the last bullet
bullet
item
point.
on the treasurer's page 6.
Okay.
Other than that, everything looked good.
Okay. Now, the motion would be in order to approve the amended change in there.
I will make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 11th, 2023 with the change regarding the Visa class action.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Teresa, okay, any questions or comments from the board? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we're rocking and rolling. Next one is the fire board minutes, and that's for December 11th also, short and sweet, okay to me?
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular fire board minutes from December 11th, 2023.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Teresa, any questions or comments from the board? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we're done. We're cruising now. Okay. Financials, budget. Okay, this is the one where I got screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so we have our revenue and expense report here, so I'll just go ahead and start on that first one. You know, it was not a super busy month in December, so I really don't think there's a whole lot to draw your attention to. The only thing I think I really wanted to just make note of, which nobody probably would have even paid attention to it, we have something journaled out of salary election administrator.
What page are you on?
Sorry about that, page 3.
3 out of 15.
And it should have actually been the election inspectors. So it's not an actual, it's not one individual that came out for a number of individuals. On the other hand, we shall be reimbursed for that, so at the end of the day, it eventually won't matter. But just so you know, we didn't pay one person as an election administrator, that was actually the election inspector's pays. And I know the rest of you aren't looking at that right now. If you were to look at it, you would see
It's
the
just a
election inspector
label.
pay is 0, it just kinda went in the wrong area there. Other than that, unless you're seeing anything you have questions on, most of it was pretty status quo.
I did notice that extra tenant that went on to the cell antenna must be now kicking our
Oh,
antenna
Yeah.
charge us
yes,
back up to the
yeah,
100 grand mark.
Yeah.
It should go a little bit over when the last one gets in there, really, for the fiscal year, so that's good. I love it when the last guy that called me from the company about buying the antenna said, you know, you got your antenna leases expired. I said, yeah, you guys don't know what's going on, man. That was years ago.
Actually, the billboard too is higher than,
That might be a.
well, oh wait, yeah.
That's
maybe.
11.5.
That's 11, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, are there any other questions or
No,
comments?
just real quick, on page 9, you're gonna find this again when we get to, journalized and unjournalized, accounts payables here, but On page 9, or if you look under the fire report, you're gonna see $467.99. It's marking, it's showing up separately as a 249 number. It actually was a fire bill, but when it went in, instead of going in under 249 utilities, I'm sorry, 206 utilities, it went in under 249.
I'm good with
So
that.
well, unfortunately, it still is showing on your report that you paid it because it was on a fire check, but, I just wanted to let you know, we
You
are
are
aware of
glad
it.
Kevin that it was your bill.
Yeah. We are aware of it, we just have not, made that adaptation yet. So you'll see total for 101 was approximately, 9,000, so $8,998.20. That's on page 2 for the general account. And then for fire, which will be your last page here, and you'll see that final number is correct, even though it does say 249. The final number is $12,493.21. So, if you have no questions, I motion that we approve the accounts payables and revenue and expense report as submitted.
Is there a second to
I'll
that?
second that.
Gina? Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? If not, Laura, would you take a roll call on it? It is for $1, so.
Okay, Teresa Bells,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Gina Mazzarelli,
Yes.
Robert Tacoma,
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes,
Okay, so that was your accounts payable, right? And we had,
I lumped them both in there.
yeah, we had no budget amendments, so other than what you talked about, okay. Financial reports for general, part, we got that, right? So next is investment reports, Teresa.
Okay, so the investment report in your packet, was very close to being 100% correct. The one that was setting out as an additional, like, so what happened is, I just did some rounding. Whenever you see that I've rounded on the public funds, it's because I haven't received the statements yet from Oakland County's local government investment pool. They did send them at the very end of the day Thursday, so I updated it all, so that this additional one here, with the exact numbers on it is the accurate one for December 31st. So you can replace the one in your packet with the one that was just, sitting there. And, everything's going fine.
Okay.
I gotta ask.
Okay. Yeah.
What was our monthly interest this time?
35,000, I think it was 35,600 or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Although, if you listen to the stock channel, everybody says kind of that the interest rates have all peaked, so that as they crank some of it down, most of the stock channel thinks
Yeah.
that the bonds and stuff are gonna be dropping, so there'll probably be some reduction next year, but it should be a lot better than when it was 1% of it that we were getting.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Right.
So
Also
here
means
we are
everything's going up.
getting some, I mean, at least we're able to take advantage of these
Mhm.
interest rates, right? So, and yes, it is good, but, there was a mortgage guy that had called in and asked some questions about taxable values and so on, and, he basically said that he didn't think that the rates were gonna change a whole lot in coming up
Really?
in, yeah,
For a while,
he didn't think they were gonna change anytime soon.
Oh, yeah, I think it's probably mid-year. but it's not-
Yeah, I mean, so it's hard to say,
I
but
just appreciate the effort that you're making to chase these rates.
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to leave the money in the higher interest things for as long as possible, so, yeah. Okay, so that's it for that.
So, that's covered, it's just an update. There are no presentations for tonight, no public address hearing for tonight, and no unfinished business for tonight. So we'll move right to, new business. And the first one is to discuss the infamous assessor's contract that we were chatting about here. The long and the short of it is this: none of the townships originally signed the contract because Oakland County decided to take the approach that we want you to pick up and agree to pay all the charges, we're gonna hire all the people that do it, and you're gonna have to agree with who we want, and then you have to live with what we decide. And in the past, the townships have always kind of been able to say, well, we disagree on this one, we wanna take this one to the appeals court for the appraisal values and things of that nature. So after a lot of gnashing, the county is very inflexible on their contracts. And And so, what's happened is Orion told them, okay, this contract does have a 90-day out. We'll sign your contract, but just so you know, in 90 days, we're putting it out to bid for Orion because they're a big enough community, they have their own assessors. For us, that's very difficult to do here. So what happened is Springfield made some modifications to it. It's certainly not perfect, but they made some improvements. So in order to move it along, I said we would do the same contract that that Springfield signed, just, taking Springfield's name out and putting ours in. And so Laura was good enough when we got the paperwork from Springfield to double check to make sure they actually put our name in where it goes. And that's the contract you have before you. I know there's a question you have about it, Gina, but if you want, tomorrow we can probably give her a call. I'm sure it's, the gist of it is, we have to pay for everything, and they normally wouldn't have it even if we hired somebody now. So the rest of it is kind of academic, I guess. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's probably the best thing we can do for now. And we do have the 90-day out, so.
Right, that would be really the only reason I would agree to it. My confusion is in where it says it is the county's sole and exclusive right and obligation, and that they will be responsible for all county agents solely completely liable for any and all county agents, past, present, or future wages, compensation, overtime wages, all of that stuff. But then that's in section 6, then you go to section 8, and it says it's the municipality's responsibility. So I'm not following why they have that language in.
Yeah, because I think what they're really indicating is they pick them, we get the responsibility to pay for it.
Okay.
And that's what everybody was upset about. We didn't think,
Sure.
if we're having it, we should be able to have some say in who the consulting people would be that we would use for the appraisals, and whether or not we wanted to appeal it further. And they basically just said, no, you're gonna take whatever we give you. But I can try to call it tomorrow for that one. Okay, so with that, is there a motion to approve the assessor contract as submitted tonight?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? This has been hanging around for about 4 or 5 months, I think now. If there are no other questions or comments, then all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, I think that's, oh, I apologize, it's for money for the contract, so you'll have to take a roll call. My error.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Gina Mazzarelli,
Yes.
Robert Palmer,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item is discuss Groveland Township consumers' energy natural gas savings. I only brought this up because the fellow that, I don't know, it was probably about 6 or 7 years ago, I had signed up the township and I think both fire stations with a natural gas reseller, and the only 2 I even looked at were the 2 that Oakland County uses. And the guy did us a pretty good deal, I think, on it. And if you saw his email, it has been pretty good. But for a short time, if you remember, about last year, the natural gas market dropped like a rock. And now it's been going way back up again, but it dropped like a rock. So there was actually a few months when you sign for these contracts, you're committed to that rate for the length of that contract. So we had a few months where we were paying more, but if you read his memo and he gives you the history of what we had, we did save money all the way along. In March, I believe that contract comes up again. And I'm not sure how to anticipate what will happen, because when I watch the staff channel, they talk about, well, there's some more gas and maybe it's going down, and I don't know. We're gonna have to make a decision in March if he sends us the contract. And I just wanted you to have an advance warning of it so you can think about it. And I asked him when he sent me this memo, what's the current rates? Because he seems to think, I had my house on a package like that too from the same company, a residential package, and I think Lynn was still on it with me. But last year I took it off because when the rates dropped, my contract had expired, and Lynn said, I'm just not gonna stay because it's lower now. So he never answered me on what the rates are, and I'm guessing that's because he probably won't until we get closer to March. You know, the rates they did fluctuate all the time, but I just wanted the board to be aware of it. I'm sure we'll see something coming along in March if we wanna do it, and we can take a look at it then. So it's really for informational purposes. Okay, next item is to appoint the new ZBA member. For those of you who don't know, Judy Schulte, who's been a valuable member of the community for years, she worked in the staff here for years, and then she's been on the BZA, and I just think she's a super lady, and sometimes we don't let people retire, we just keep on dragging them back in for something.
Quitting elections.
Oh my gosh, right?
Next year.
We just
She
keep
knows-
on pulling them back.
She knows
right?
too much to let her go.
But she sent a letter, and I'm guessing it's just, I know she's had some health issues, maybe she just decided it's time to. So I wrote her a little letter, thanked her for what she did, and we have an application here. Let me get this one out of the way first. Yeah, resume of, Dave, you wanna introduce your?
Scott Williamson.
Scott Williamson.
Next on there.
Yeah, Scott and I had a nice chat. He wants to get involved in the township. I think if you look at his resume, he's got a very good resume, I think a good professional background.
No, I didn't.
And so, when I told him, and I keep my word, I told him, we don't have a vacancy right now, but they pop up all of a sudden, and when I get one, I'll call you. And I did, I called him as soon as I got it. He was gracious enough to say that he would be interested, so I would like to recommend to the board that we appoint Scott Williamson to the Board of Zoning Appeals to fill the vacancy created by Judy Schulte.
Well, I can second that motion.
Okay? Scott, is there anything you want to say? Because I've already pinned you to it now.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, thanks. We appreciate you doing it. I think it's a great way to get involved in the township, and it shows some good interest and commitment.
Yeah, I'd like
We have
to just be involved a
February
little more.
13th meeting.
I saw the schedule.
And there's also some training available online through the MTA.
Oh, that's right. Danielle's got some
Actually,
stuff.
on the 24th of January, we're doing a group training with BZA and planning
Okay.
here at 7 o'clock.
Great.
But Danielle can forward you that information. But
Yeah, that'd be great.
Welcome aboard.
She mentioned it to me today, and so I have a memory like a sieve. If I forget, if you call tomorrow, ask for Danielle, and she'll fill you in.
Yeah. What's
Okay?
that?
Okay.
24th,
Not at 7 though, isn't it?
7, she
earlier?
changed, I just got,
Is
the
it?
text said she changed it to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
It said 6 o'clock originally, but somehow it got
Okay.
changed to 7. I don't know why, I just
That's a
changed it
Wednesday?
in my alarm.
Neil's working in, Birmingham.
Oh, okay, got it, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the only thing I didn't know either to clarify is if it's that new, because I've taken all the MTA ones, but if it's that new one, I'm anxious because I'm hoping it's something new. That would be nice. So,
Okay.
Did you say February 20th?
no, this one, January 24th, 7 o'clock.
Okay. Well, let's see.
So you motioned, I seconded it.
Any other questions or comments from the board? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's done. Thank you.
Yay.
And
Welcome
tomorrow sometime if you come in the office,
She'll swear.
this nice lady will swear at
I'll be
you.
happy to.
Make it official.
We can do it today if you want.
Okay,
Okay, great.
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it, Scott.
Thanks.
And if I forget later, maybe after we're done or something, if you can give me your cell phone number, I'll put it in my phone in
Yeah.
case I have to get hold of you. Okay, and you can have mine. Okay, next item on the agenda is to discuss the no-haz resolution. We do this every year.
Well, we did it last month.
Yeah, so what is it?
This is just so you know. So we approved the contract last month. However, they want the official resolution approved, so I wanted to make sure
Oh.
we did,
Okay,
dotted all the i's and crossed the t's.
okay.
So we've already agreed on everything that's in this resolution, it's just now the actual resolution that you're seeing in
So you
front of
just
you.
wanna approve the
It's-
North Oakland Household Hazardous Waste
Exactly. So
resolution.
that is my motion.
All right, is there a second?
Second,
Okay, any questions or comments from the board?
only comment would be is that we did approve to raise it to 15, from 10
Yes,
to 15.
and that is
So
in
that
here
should be
as well.
in the minutes.
Yeah,
It's in
oh,
there
yeah,
too.
I see it.
And I think I told Whitney way
Okay.
back that we would do it just to make it easier for the people to collect at the
Yeah,
event.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean for the audience to know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the good thing will be when we put the sign out, when we start the no-haz days, we'll
Yeah,
probably add it to
And
the
then it's-
sign this
yeah,
year, just so
that's a
people.
good
oh,
know
for
idea.
about
sure.
it.
In the
That's a good
website.
idea,
Mhm.
yeah.
And by the way, just in case you don't know, that $15 doesn't come close to covering.
No.
No,
It's, more like about.
It's almost 170.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, it's almost
It
170.
it goes up, and it's
Per
just to
car.
make sure that people are cognizant that they're getting something for it. And some communities were charging 10 like we were, and then a lot of them raised it to 15. And so we were the last one left at 10, and I said, it just makes it hard for the people at the event that are collecting the money from the cars coming in.
Right.
That they gotta make different amounts for different cars. This way everybody's on the $15 fee. Okay, so we made a resolution, or did you?
I did the thing, and then I think Gina did the thing.
Okay, so any other questions or comments?
Write down the thing.
Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, okay. Well, this is gonna be a record meeting
We're working on it.
Well, I'm working on it, Bob, I'll drag it out.
tonight. You coming up for us, eh? Okay. Discuss the budget meeting workshop. Excuse me, I gotta grab my calendar real quick. Okay, grab that one.
Update on the game?
It starts at 7:30.
Is someone
Oh,
playing
yeah,
today?
7:20.
Wings aren't until Thursday.
I heard your comment when you walked in.
Is there a pregame at 7:30 and game at 8, or is it?
No, it's
Game at
7:30. Yeah. My daughter-in-law's a Husky,
Okay.
so
Oh,
it'll
Is
be
that-
intense at that house.
I sent an email out to everybody today, or the other day, that said, you know, the budget workshop's coming up, could you get me any items you want the board to discuss to me by the 17th, so that we could,
Yes.
huh? So that we could have a meeting. We have to get it done in February, because we have to do it at the March meeting to make it effective. So I need some time, but if I can get the stuff from everybody by the 17th of this month, I'm kinda thinking I can have it done by maybe the 12th or something of February, maybe sooner, but I'm still fiddling around with stuff on that.
Well, because
So-
we have it before we have to hold elections here.
yeah, yeah, I
What I was
Yeah.
kinda hoping.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
okay,
would
what day is that?
Which one?
17th? I think, it doesn't.
We start on the 17th.
And the 14th is the last day taxes are payable here without penalty, so I don't
So you wanna try and do it like the 7th?
Yes, please. Chief?
Chief?
Well, that is a Wednesday,
Oh,
so
wait a minute, the 7th
the
of
7th of
February.
February.
Oh, okay.
Budget.
I can procrastinate even longer then.
Just figure on the whole day, I'll send out a
Yes.
timeline after I get an
Like
agenda
maybe
with
10
the stuff
a.m.
from everybody. Yeah,
starting?
typically, yeah. But I just budget the whole day, so I gotta make sure I get it
Okay.
That's for you.
done by, oh boy, it's gonna
What?
be
That was
interesting.
for you. That was your phone.
Well, we've got one more week
Your phone sign.
after that if we need to.
But I have
Mhm.
zero done right now.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sure, you know,
Uh-huh,
it'll be all right.
I love it.
Hopefully, it'll be all right. It'll be good.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't think it should be too bad. I have a couple ideas I want, so I'll take everybody's put together, rough out an agenda, and then, typically, Patty used to give me that spreadsheet that I could start scribbling on, and I'll put the numbers in and estimate what we've got for the balance of the year. Okay, so we'll shoot for, probably February, let's see, what's the 7th?
7th, yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yes, 7th.
Assuming
If you're having a hard time sleeping, that's a good day to come to a meeting and get bored.
It was 8 hours last year, in case anyone wondered.
Okay, and then, the next item is to discuss the MPA conference. You know, they sent us the information on the conference, and typically, if you sign up early, you get a discount on it. So is there anybody here that is planning on going to the MTA conference this spring?
That's a tricky one. So this is the one,
Let me put this in. I would like to go there for one day, but I don't, and I think I can get in for one day without paying for a meeting if somebody's there, okay? As a guest, you know what I
So would you
mean?
like me to attend this meeting?
Well, somebody, if you will.
Well, I can.
I don't wanna go
back and
overnight, I
forth
can't
about
stay
it.
overnight on it, I know I
Yeah.
can't.
When is it, April?
I would love to do the understanding assessing basics, but,
April 23 and 4.
yeah, and that's on the 22nd only, so it wouldn't,
Yeah, the 22nd is really the attorney stuff anyway, but hardly anybody shows up to that.
So then I don't wanna do understanding assessing basics, that's what I
Yeah.
highlighted, I thought.
That's an
Yeah.
all-day thing, and,
Yeah.
it's for like assessors getting credentials and
Oh.
stuff like that.
Why is it called basics then?
I don't know, but you
But-
To
could
trick
go-
you to show up, that's why.
You
I guess.
actually
It's
could
the
go to
22nd through the
website,
25th, but
the MTS
hardly
website,
anybody's there on the
click this,
22nd,
and
right?
you could,
People just
you know,
showing up.
Okay.
more
And I can
about
tell you on the
Okay.
25th,
Or
if
it's
you
in
went
the
to one, you
latest-
know,
Well, I
everybody
did.
boogies out of there
I
before
did,
that.
that's why.
Okay.
I
After
went
it's
last
done.
year, I
would be
really
okay with
enjoyed
that.
that.
Well, you
No, it's great to go, I
Yeah,
really, you
it's
should make a lot of great
great.
content, but I'm just saying,
Um,
it says 22
But
to
no,
25th, but the
alright, no.
22nd is kind of
Well, I
nothing
mean-
but getting
Right.
there. And the 25th is really when you're leaving, so
Um,
a lot of people don't stay till the very
I
bitter
know
end
this
of
is
it.
kind of far
So
out.
it's
Yeah.
kind of
we
23rd,
can
4th.
approve it for me and then I can figure it out from here.
So,
Does that
You
sound like a
can
plan?
make sure I can get in one day,
Right?
okay?
How's that?
Mhm.
what are you two cahooting over here?
Nothing,
I
nothing.
I can't go and stay overnight, but I would like to get in for one day, okay?
Which day would that be?
I want to see who they appoint on that contest.
Okay, well, that's what I'm wondering, is
Oh,
when
yeah.
is that, when is that?
I'll find out. From
Okay.
there.
So we were saying that maybe we would approve for me to go
Right,
and then,
if he wins, it's.
Tomorrow, I
She'll be his- He'll be her plus
So,
one.
but at least it would be approved.
This is the one that, we went to last year,
Yes,
right?
also,
Which was-
I'm pretty sure the 22nd is part of TGA, which is why, even
Yeah.
though it's focused on assessing, it's part of the overall Township Governance
Governance,
Academy,
Right.
which is why it benefits
Right.
everybody.
Right.
Yes.
They're great conferences,
Yeah, okay.
but if you've been to about 7 of them,
Yeah.
they repeat a lot of the stuff after a while.
So is this the one where the things that we nominated you for?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, so you'll get an open invitation.
You have to
I
give
don't
a
know. I didn't
speech
even know
too,
they
Bob.
wrote the article.
You gotta give a speech that day too, Bob.
I didn't even know they wrote the article.
He's got
Danielle was the
that.
one who knew.
So if you are interested in going, Janelle, I mean, it's only the cost of another registration for me to attend. Because the hotel we would just share.
Yeah.
I'm making that bold
I
assumption.
did notice that, did you notice that?
I made the bold assumption that you would share a room with me.
I would be okay with that.
And travel,
Yeah,
right, so it wouldn't add on any additional expense, except for the registration, so I would consider that myself, to go with Janelle, drive up together, stay in the same, hotel together. And as long as we're, returning Wednesday evening or whatever, cause I do have Thursday
Right.
night, youth recognition night, which is my event that I host. So I need to be back by that, of course. So yeah, I think that there's enough, things in the actual conference itself
Mhm.
that would be worth attending, especially if I'm just a ride-along. So whatever the motion is that you're thinking of, just throw me in as an additional,
Make a motion to approve the spring conference for Janelle and Teresa to go together.
for conference fees,
If conference fees, mileage,
Travel,
and any
mileage.
meals and stuff. the whole-
lodging.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? If not, Laura, would you take a roll call?
Gina,
Yes.
Robert DePaul,
Yes.
Janelle,
Yes.
Teresa Bells,
yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
And if for some reason the part has to be different than hers, maybe it'll be the day I go with them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can figure that out. Sure.
Okay, all right, moving on to miscellaneous. Holly Area Youth.
That is me, and I don't have a whole lot, they didn't meet in, December, I can tell you they met just this week. I don't know how the meeting went, I was not there, I know they were working on relocating the Haya office, equipment and supplies, and then also changing the meeting day. But again, they didn't meet this past month, so I don't have any additional update from last month.
And we're still looking for a representative from.
We are.
From Groveland to serve.
For Holly Schools.
You know how that stuff works when you point like that,
Yeah,
Kevin?
yeah, it doesn't come back.
Mirrors
Bob.
turn it around.
Oh, Kevin, you're interested?
No, Neil Laughlin is the.
Okay, BGO, Teresa.
All right, so BGYA,
BGYA, I'm sorry.
the meeting is tomorrow. Again, this was a quiet month, right? There was a meeting in December, but, just the 19 referrals for the month of November. They were all reported from the school district. The youth recognition night is the April 25th, and the sponsor breakfast is going to be, Thursday, March 7th, I believe. I will correct that if I'm wrong, but, that is gonna be in the morning, and I think last year they had it at the iTech Center. It was really, really nice, so all of the elected officials will be invited to that sponsor breakfast. And, everything else, they always keep their website updated, and their Facebook page is updated by Diane Salter. She does a great job keeping everybody
What day
informed
did
of
you
what's going on.
See the breakfast is gonna be, or?
I believe it's gonna be March 7th. I believe that it's a Thursday.
Alrighty.
If I'm wrong, I will send out an email and let you
I'll
know.
pencil it in.
Okay.
Close.
Yeah, pretty sure, cause I called to make the dates, but I didn't bring my calendar with me, cause I'm irresponsible today. Jeez, okay,
Okay, next, then would be the, did you have anything else?
no, I'm good, thank you.
Planning Commission, Jim?
You know, a little bit of the same old stuff, and I have a confession, I brought my wrong little tablet here, but if memory serves me correctly, we continue to, I'm gonna use the word beat up, but beat up the issue, that our ordinance, got messed up by,
Yeah.
and,
Danielle and I talked about that today. I think there's a day on the 23rd when you guys are getting together to talk about that.
yeah.
Okay, we're trying to get that fixed, right?
So, in the meantime, everybody, I think we've jumped back to the last
Version.
usable version. I don't know what the proper
Mhm.
language
We
is.
did.
But that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Is that it, Jim?
I believe it is.
Okay, BZH?
We have a meeting February 13th,
Mhm.
another variance regarding, accessory building, houses at the way back of the property, so. And then I did want to mention this, smart mobility
Oh,
meetings
that's a good point.
that are going to be coming up, they're public meetings. I don't know if we can post this on the bulletin board, or, there is, you can register today at smarter-mobility.org, but they're all over Oakland County. The closest one to us is probably Bloomfield Township, however, they are offering them on Zoom. 4 of those meetings will be Zoomed.
Is this all part of that?
This is-
Oakland Transit?
Yeah, this is all part of the Oakland Transit
I think
to
just
get you
to get more
know-
information.
Yeah,
on what
so you
people
can
are
get
looking
more
for.
information about what they're offering, and they can be, more specific as to, it has a lot, I think this is more targeted to what our, special needs might be. Yeah,
We're kind of still at the behest of what Holly or Brandon do, so we don't,
right,
we're
but
just
the
not
numbers
big
are
enough to do
still
it, but the numbers
increasing
are
of
increasing,
travelers, so that's a
at
good
least if they
sign.
have an opportunity to go there and say, we would
Yeah.
like to see something,
Right.
it gives them a chance to have some input into it.
Yeah.
Well, and we do have some residents who have some family members with special needs.
Right,
That are not senior citizens, so
right.
we can certainly get this information specific to them,
Oh, that's a thought.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they may be interested in attending
Yeah. So definitely, I think we can post this
Yeah.
in the office, but if we can put a link on the website or,
Facebook page.
yeah, Facebook page, yeah, I don't do social media, so I'm sorry, I always forget about that,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I already wrote it down right there.
But yeah, I think that would be wonderful, especially since they can Zoom from here.
Right.
Obviously, they're targeting the larger populace, populated areas, but definitely worth checking into if you have the need.
Thank you.
I don't have a lot to put down today, except that I have had a couple of meetings with appraisers on the township property. They're both supposed to get back to me in the next week or so with what the cost would be, but one of them said even if you did it, you can't do it till the summer. I'm apprehensive they wanna wait that long, that's how backed up he is. The second appraiser that I got, actually was, I thought, very helpful with some ideas on how to do land leases and stuff, and has sent me today a sample of a contract he's used for him in other cases, and given me some pricing examples to look at. And I passed it on to Will Hasso today to have him take a look at it. And I located Barry Bass, he's in Florida on vacation. I haven't talked to him, but I found out through the guy that he uses as a broker that we talked to.
So we're not gonna use the gentleman who came and presented to us for the lease
For the lease,
options?
I don't know, this guy,
Okay.
the guy that Barry uses seems to be tuned in this pretty good. And I thought he had a pretty, what I believe will be acceptable to the board for a fee structure that will work in the scenario we want. Before I do it, I need to get Will's comments, and I also said I need to talk to Barry and find out how he stacks up. But he's used this guy for many years, and he's very happy with him, so I'm guessing that's what we'll probably end up going with. I also have 2 other video proposals which should be in within the next week or so, so we'll see. But I think they're actually gonna be quite different. Tom Z was in the other day to talk to me about it, he said, I'll get it to you next week, he said, but it's quite a bit different than what I thought when I started, so I don't know if that's good or bad or indifferent, but it's gonna be an interesting meeting when we get it all. So, that's really all I had down for the supervisor for today. Clerk, did you want, we had a couple of announcements. you wanted to
Yep,
make?
couple things. First of all, you all have this in front of you. This is the Holly Chamber of Commerce annual dinner that they have coming up in a couple of weeks. They will recognize a person, family, organization, and business of the year. So this is just for your information if you're interested in going. They do need to have reservations by the 19th. So you may have already received emails.
Mhm.
So
I think I've
that's-
had 3 on it.
Okay, perfect. Well, you know what, now you have a flyer too.
Yeah.
I received this today in the mail, well, kind of, Bob did. This is the Transportation Improvement Association. We can put it on the agenda next month, or we can just discuss it today. In the past, they've requested or asked for $200.
Same thing this year.
Yeah, it's the same thing this year, so if it's something that you think that we would want to contribute to,
They are worth it, it's a nominal fee, and when you wanna try and make an improvement, like, what we did some years ago at Beaky's, or any of the turn lanes, or the signs by the fire station does not go across when the light's red, to make right turns, I mean, those kinds of things, they pull out a lot of traffic data on that, and when you get it from TIA, it carries a lot more weight with the road commission. They're considered an excellent independent source and used extensively for it. So for $200, it gives us access to all that, and they've always been great to work with. So, I mean, I would recommend we renew them again.
do you wanna just go ahead and do that right now?
Yeah.
That's kinda what I was thinking.
Since it's something we've done on an annual
Yeah,
basis.
a lot of times it's
As
on
long
the
as I can
agenda
hear.
as an item, but it
Yeah.
came today and I thought I'd just bring it.
Well, we were wondering where it was. We
I-
kept on getting
I
letters
asked
from
him,
them, and I
like,
said,
I
well,
don't
where's the
think I
bill?
can ask
It
you
wasn't
about
there. She said, I think it comes in February. It came today.
And it came today. So I would motion that we go ahead and, pay the $200 to be a part of that TIA for this next year.
I'll
Is there a
second that.
second? Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? If not, roll call vote, please.
Robert Tola.
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Gina Misrali.
Yes.
Do you want to do this one too? right?
Unless you'd like to.
No, feel free.
So
We're
the
on a
other
roll
thing,
now.
this is not in the packet either, this is more just, informational. Over the break, I had a couple of emails come through from our tech company, and they were for a failed, storage device. And so they contacted me and said, hey, I'm gonna provide you with an estimate. The information that they have here does say, is it something that we absolutely have to do? No, but for safety and security, our system, it does sound like it's pretty outdated for what we have. So the recommendation was to approve it. It is under the $1,000, so we can do this on our own and make that decision. However, it's pretty close. It's $937 for the replacement. So I just wanted to make everybody aware that you may see that bill come up. And if you have any questions or thoughts on it, for those of you who are looking at there, obviously let me know your input.
I think we should do it.
Okay,
Okay.
I know. Did you go to, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and then, just the last thing is, of course, election, and I know this is redundant, you're hearing it every single month, but it really is important. The more I can educate people right now, there's a lot going on in election world. So by December 28th, you all should have received, if you were on the permanent ballot list, this is brand new, you've never been on this before, this is the first time Groveland Township would have had this opportunity. So if you're on the permanent ballot selection, or permanent ballot list, you should have received a form. It went out December 28th. You would have received that ballot selection form. Please make sure you submit that, and that's when you select which party that you would like to vote for, which ballot that you want for the February primary. If you've picked a different party in the past, that makes no difference. You're welcome to pick something new this time. It doesn't like secure you into one particular party. You can always change your mind down the road. However, you can only vote for one party for this election. Application. So if you're still on the permanent application list, which is what most people in Groveland are familiar with, that's where you would have received the blue, green, pink, or yellow form in the past. That was to say, yes, I want a ballot mailed to my house. Those went out this week, so you should receive them any day now if you haven't already. You also will be receiving, probably early next week, maybe even by this weekend, an early voting postcard. And there it is. It will look like this. This will go to every single registered voter in Groveland Township. Because of the...
Just to remind us of the dates.
Well, actually, it's to tell you the dates that you can vote in person. So the new laws, what is changing now are these early days of voting. So we will have 9 days in addition to your traditional election day. So you'll have the second Saturday before the election up until the Sunday before the election, where you can actually come in and vote in person downstairs here in the Township Hall. Your traditional election day will be, you would vote if you choose to do so, you would vote at your traditional voting location. For the early voting hours, this postcard lets you know where you can vote, which again is here, and it also tells you the hours that you can come in and vote. So those days, it's not a long day, it's not from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., it is an 8-hour window. Most of those are from 8 to 4, with the exception of the one Wednesday that we have going on, which will be from 10 to 6. I know that's a lot of information.
You've done a great job on that. And I know that she's the other one that knows it,
Absolutely.
because all where you're doing it, she's nodding her head.
Yeah, yes, there's a lot, and Laura has been fantastic. So for those of you who don't know, Laura is our deputy clerk here and our elections administrator, and she's doing a fantastic job. There's a lot to take on with either one of these roles, specifically with election, and she's just jumped right aboard. She's doing awesome, so
You're both doing a great
I
job.
think that's all I have.
Why are we doing this? I mean,
So that's a great question. So why are we doing this? This is part of the law that was passed in 2022 November, that now we have to have early voting. Just so you know, for all of you people that are watching this who are not from Groveland Township, your hours may differ and your location will differ. But
You
yes,
might
it
be
is a
able to do a
requirement for
whole full
Michigan.
hour in the Citizen.
It's actually 9 days of early voting.
yeah,
Yes.
across
So-
the country.
Michigan.
Okay.
So, I know, it's pretty wild. It's been an interesting ride here so far.
Okay. Wow.
So just so you know, we did send this out to every single voter, not every household. I'm telling you that purposely because the law dictates that we send this to every elector. However, we
So
were
a husband and a wife will get two.
would get 2. We had some recommendations to do every household. However, I did go back and look at the law, and the law specifically outlines every elector, so we did make a choice to send it to each person. Also, if it gets returned, we can use that as reliable data that person does not live there. So we can keep our voter rolls a little bit more up to date.
Nice.
We could not do that if we sent it to every household, so. More information on elections than any of you care to know, but now it's out there and I feel like I have done my duty.
The two of them are gonna quiz us in the morning. When we walk in, to see how much of this we remember, right?
Yes, so much, but that's all I have for today.
Thank
I
you.
will step off my soapbox.
Was a great job covering it. Teresa, you have anything?
Okay, so, just February 14th is the final day that taxes for winter or summer Winter can be paid without any penalty. Summer taxes, unless they're deferred, have been accruing some interest, since September 14th, if they're not paid yet. But, February 14th is the last day to pay. Here in the office, without penalty, we talked about interest rates are holding pretty steady at the moment. And that's pretty much it as far as like what's going on here in the office, but the Oakland County Treasurers Association is having an executive board meeting, and that, since I'm the president this year, it's up to me to set those dates and stuff. So this Wednesday's was gonna be our first one. We were gonna do it in person, but in light of all this oncoming weather, we're doing it virtually. And so the gal who's the secretary, they have a subscription to Microsoft 365, and she can set up team meetings where they don't kick you off after 45 minutes. So I was good with that. Like we don't need to have anything, I think, that we're paying for to be able to do a longer meeting when we have a couple of free options or someone else who can actually use what their township's already paying for to do that. And so we're gonna set some meetings for things for training purposes and stuff. So if there's anybody who has any thoughts about topics that you think that all the treasurers in Oakland County should be educated about, I would welcome any suggestions.
And we ain't touching that on it.
Well, you never know. And then I know I had said that I would like to attend the MMTA, the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association Winter Workshop. I decided to attend the Friday only, not the Thursday and Friday. It's a little less expensive to do that. And the MTA Capital Conference, which is coming up on the 23rd, I've decided not to do that because there's gonna be discussion about some of the legislative actions that specifically affect treasurers. That will be at the MMTA workshop that I will be attending on the 19th. So I won't need to go to something on the 23rd, especially since some of us are gonna be watching the Now You Know lunch series on the 17th about the new renewable energy siting legislations and all that. Yeah, so Danielle signed us up for that, and we're gonna watch that together. So there's enough stuff going on with legislative, and especially if I'm gonna attend the MTA conference with Janelle, I won't need to do that. I was kind of thinking MTA Capital Conference, it would be at the Capitol, but it's not at the Capitol. So that's not fun. Right?
I've been to those two, and I would say if there's any that you're going to miss, to me, I think we have such a good line of communication with our senators and reps that I don't see the big benefit to it.
Right.
If you were brand new to the office and you really didn't know any of them, it's a good chance to get to know some other staff.
Correct.
too, you know.
But since we're, as connected as we are with Ruth Johnson and Lisa McLean and Martin, So I opted not to do that, and thus saving a little money there. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, with that, we're moving on to the thrilling portion, which is public comment. Is there any public comment at this point in time? Seeing none, okay, I guess we'll move for adjournment and reconvene for the fire board meeting, chief. So all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to start, we got a long presentation I'd like to give.
And as I will remind you, as I was told, there's some sort of a game everybody
Okay.
wants to see tonight, so, you got 2 minutes, chief.
Okay. So we finished up the year with 970 calls. If we didn't have such a slow November, we would have hit 1,000. We were about 30 calls short in November, so we would have hit 1,000 like I predicted. So far, and that was 96 calls for December. We received a pickup truck from the DNR for free. We got, it had a dent in the door. We used a volleyball and we pushed that dent back out. It didn't want to start at first. Well, we put 2 new batteries in it and still didn't want to start, but we figured out it was just the glow plug, so we replaced the glow plugs.
What's a
and
diesel?
yeah, and it's a I think it's a 1986 with 35,000 miles on it. So
Really?
And it's a 5/4 ton Chevy with the long bed, so we're gonna use it as a brush truck and utility truck, so.
5 I didn't even know they made 5.
I didn't know either.
1-ton trucks. I
But it's
thought
a-
1 ton was the biggest.
It's a military truck, an M1008, so it's a
Oh,
cut
okay.
B, what we used to call it, so. And, we used to drive them like we stole it, so I mean, we took a beating.
I'll bet you one that's all worn out and we don't need it anymore, I'll bet even then the axles on that are worth something. for
Yeah,
that.
we
Well,
can't
have to
sell
take
it,
back.
we have to give it back to
Give it
them,
back to
Oh.
them.
but we can keep it as long as we want. We, paint was real oxidized, so we wet sanded it with 1500 grit paper and we've polished it. It didn't come out great, but it's better than it was, and so I don't know what we'll exactly do with it. It's got a pintle hitch on the back, probably swap that out with a trailer ball and whatnot, but it's a little rough starting. You have to listen for the click and then hit it,
Out
but
of curiosity, can that take the blade assembly we have, or is it a different
No.
mount?
I don't know, we have to see.
I just wondered if that would be a good one to leave the winter stuff on or something.
Yeah, we've, Stacy's also asked for an additional truck since they had more there. And they're just gonna put them up for bid here, they said in the spring. So we get a second one, I mean, just two, a utility truck and a brush truck would be great.
Is it only fire departments that can bid on them, or municipalities?
Once they send it to bid, no, anyone can bid on it, but for right now, it's just like a government transfer, so.
Okay, when they send them to bid, can you let me?
Oh, I'm gonna plan on bidding on it too,
Okay.
Bob, so I'm not gonna let
Bob
you
wants
know.
some more cars.
I don't wanna be getting a bidding war with you, so.
It's not with me, I know someone else.
I know Brad would probably love it, so.
Cause they got heavy axles and stuff,
Yeah.
and they won't look better.
We received a matching grant from the DNR also for $4,700 for fire gear.
Nice.
So,
Very good job, good job.
we'll be buying 2 sets of gear. It's amazing that one set of gear costs $5,000, but. So we're gonna be ordering another 2 sets, and we already got the one for, 3 sets of gear. Those have been ordered. And we have switched over to the new radio system today from Oakland County. So I'll model them so you can all see it, so. That's the
The
new
Dago
radio.
green, right?
And that's the new page over here. Seem to be working. They're not simulcasting anymore, so you can't listen to it on, like my scanner's not working anymore because I was listening to it on
Oh, your own personal
153.8.
scanner?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
The first system, Open Sky, was supposed to do away with all those frequencies initially. Of course, they never did, so, they're still assigned to us, so they just can't take them, but, I don't know if this, they just didn't wanna do it, I guess. Cause that gives them options, and they say there's no options for doing this way, but, and we're getting the radios installed in the trucks. We had 3 vehicles done today, so basically we got about 3 vehicles a day going down and getting them installed in Springfield Station 3, I believe it is, so. It takes them, they said on the ambulance it might take 8 hours, it's probably taking 3 hours, and then the engines is taking them, they say 3 hours, it's taking them about an hour, so. We brought the ladder down, parked it there tonight down there, just so they can get jumped on it first thing in the morning. And, I think Friday's our last day for trucks, so I gotta get the chief's car running, so I go down there and get ready.
Other than the chief's car, the fleet's really in pretty decent shape now,
Yeah.
and you're getting looking into a special price on that.
Right, and then I just found out that Brandon's getting rid of the chief's Tahoe. I said, well, how much for that? So maybe, I just asked Billy, and he says, which one? The one we're selling? I was like, yeah, no, so he may have thought, how much for the new tower they just got, could be asking, because he knows that we're looking at a new one. And then, CPR class, January 20th at 0900, so if, anyone wants to take that class, just get in touch with us and we'll let Teddy know that, he's
I'm
got
just
them.
curious, when your people go through this building, do they check that battery pack in that one that's in that room?
Yeah, it's very rare that needs to be changed. We changed it once before.
Yeah,
But they're good for like,
okay.
it's supposed to be good for like 10 years.
Stacy just changed out the.
Pads?
The pads,
Yeah.
yeah. But the
like,
battery,
maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
I think the battery has I think it's a 10-year life. Do you know, Gina?
I think it is a 10-year life,
Yeah.
same as.
If you
the
don't
smoke
use it,
detectors
yeah,
and the-
yeah.
if you
But
don't
you know,
use
I
it,
always
right.
wonder, like my generator, the generator I can put in, right, it's got a battery, like a little,
It's- yeah.
like a lawnmower battery that
Mhm.
starts it right. The other day, all my alarm lights are on it, and it says low battery. I went out, hit the button, it fired right up, So I ran it for 10 minutes, left it, this weekend it started again. I don't know why. Maybe it didn't start once and it cranked it too long or something, but.
Do you know how old your battery is?
I think I think that one's maybe 2 years, I've replaced it once or twice, and they got a trickle charger on them, so they're,
I
should
do
stay
ours
good.
every 3 years,
Yeah.
I'm just bringing that up.
Yeah.
We did damage a garage door at Station 2 today, they backed the truck and do it, so, we're calling them to replace the panels. We only had one panel left and it's got windows in it, so it's, the top 3 at least have to be replaced, so. We sent them down for a piss test, but they obviously don't. It's just to protect us, I mean.
It does not circumvent the need to look, right?
Well, what happens is with the ladder, you got a ladder sticking out the back, you look like you have a lot of room,
Yeah.
but the ladder sticks out, you know, two.
I can't say anything, I backed a couple of cars
I
out
did
of
that
my
same
barn
thing, so.
and said, that's when I go to Kurt, I need that mirror in the hood painted again.
Now, the garage door is important, but the ladder to me is more important, than if you bend the rungs on it, then you have to buy a new ladder. It bent the rung just a tiny bit, but it looks like it still be serviced, so. So we're leaving service and
They
we'll
might
get
be
them
able to
checked.
put porta power between it and pop it back, right?
No. It's pretty, the top 2 are really bent, those definitely have to be replaced. The third one
Okay.
probably has to be replaced, the fourth one, they'll probably try to replace it, they'll probably recommend replace it. So there's only 6 panels, so they'll probably just say, probably time to replace the whole door, but, and we'll save those other 2 panels.
Oh, I thought you meant the ladder rungs were.
Oh, no, that, I'm sure that's fine, but the door panels are what,
Yeah, you can't do nothing with them.
I mean, there's one we could probably push in if they,
You can take them to the guy on Wolf Road that buys scrap steel.
actually, if we replace the whole door, we'll save the 2 bottom panels and we'll have 3 replacement panels.
Oh, okay.
The last time we had to do it, the garage door company said that, they can't get those panels anymore. So we're trying a different one anyway, but.
I forget, I had that problem on my barn when one of my doors got bent on the bottom panel, my car barn, and somehow I finally found the company that made it, and I got a door, if I show you, you'll say, oh yeah, that's slightly different, but you'll never notice it, it's that close.
So maybe we'll just go with those big doors that open up like this.
Yeah.
I keep getting the flyers for those for the new station, but I don't even open them, I know those are expensive.
Okay.
Unless there's any questions, that's all.
Am I the only one who missed the detail?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I was laid up all the last 2 weeks with my back, so I didn't get them to put them in.
I'm sorry.
So, next month I'll provide 2, or if I get it done this week, I'll just put it in your mailbox. I have to have it
That's all
done,
right. I just wondered if there
Yeah.
was,
yeah.
we're saving a piece of paper, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to have them in by Wednesday so I can do payroll for Janelle.
Okay.
This is the more detailed payroll coming up.
I have a odd question, in all my years around here, on something like this, do we self-insure to a certain amount, or is there an insurance?
We are, but that's usually,
It's just a deductible, really.
yeah, it's probably the deductible
Yeah, I
cost.
was just curious, never encountered anything here.
Now, if it was more damage to the vehicle, yeah, we would
You
probably.
gotta remember, on your car, you might have a $500,000 or $1,000 deductible. On the stuff they drive, everything is 3 times as much money.
Honestly, and it depends what they come in and say, oh, it's, they came in and said it's $3,000, well, maybe we would consider that, but I don't usually use insurance unless I absolutely have to, but
Just curious.
I'm just afraid my rates are gonna go skyrocket. It's like calling Comcast, don't ever wanna call them because,
Okay.
your rates are going up too, by the way, so, it's just for calling.
They billed me for a satellite box that I took out almost a year ago, the other day. It took me 20 minutes to convince them. You already have the box, I sent it to you. I didn't keep the slip on it a year later, but you could see that box has never been turned on because it's not plugged into anything.
Usually they just want the card that's in there.
Yeah, well, I think they can look at it and see which one of your boxes are on, and the only 3 I got are the 3 I paid for, but it's just, they're paying me for it.
That's what's scary. I typed in Rochester Fire Department the other day on my phone. We had a chiefs meeting down there, and I said, "You last visited this place 9 years ago. It's a different phone and everything." I was like, "Oh man, it's time to stop using all this technology."
Okay, that's it, Chief, thanks, good job.
Thanks.
Good job, thanks. There are any public comments? We'll open the meeting to public comment. Seeing none, motion would be in order to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And go move to second that, okay? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting's adjourned, thank you, everybody.
7-0 you win.
Yeah.
I just got it.
Was it Edwards? Oh.
She probably still got the recording going, so you might be on there now.
So I could tell it was going,
The
I kept
recording's
trying to like scoot over, but I couldn't see it enough.